Let's be real, you're scrolling through your phone all day. We all are. So, in a world just jam-packed with content, how do brands create ads that don't just get seen, but that actually make you stop and pay attention?
Well, the answer is a very specific type of professional, someone who's part artist, part scientist, and we call them the creative strategist. They're the crucial link between a cool idea and actual bottom-line business success.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. We'll break down what the role really is, what a typical day looks like, the skills you've got to have, how to nail the interview, and then a really important look at why the role itself is changing.
So, first up, let's get super clear on what this job is all about. Because trust me, it's way more than just coming up with catchy ads. Think of them as the mastermind behind the whole operation. They're the ones digging into the data, seeing what's trending, understanding what people actually care about, and then building a master plan so that every single piece of creative, whether it's a TikTok or a TV ad, has a clear strategic purpose.
Now, this slide clears up something that gets a lot of people confused. What's the difference between a creative strategist and a brand strategist? Well, think of it like this. The brand strategist is the architect. They design the blueprint for the entire brand, the what and the why. But the creative strategist, they're the engineer, who figures out how to actually build it in the most exciting, effective way possible. Okay, so we know what they are, but what do they actually do all day? Let's take a look at a day in the life.
Their work is this constant 5-step cycle. It all starts with research, and yes, that absolutely means scrolling social media to get real insights. Then they analyze what competitors are doing, brainstorm fresh concepts, work with the creative team to bring those ideas to life, and, this is key, they use data to measure everything. It's a full journey from an initial insight all the way to measurable impact.
And this quote from Grace Cooper at Superside just nails it. They're not just thinking about one ad, they're thinking about the entire ecosystem. How does this Instagram story play into the YouTube ad, and how does that whole thing support the new product launch? They see the whole forest, not just the individual trees.
So what does it take to be really good at this? If you're listening and thinking, hey, this sounds like me, let's break down the core skills you're going to need in your toolkit.
It's this fantastic mix of right-brain creativity and left-brain logic. You have to be an innovative storyteller, for sure. But you also need the analytical mind to look at the data and say, okay, this story is actually going to work. And because you're the hub connecting so many different teams, being a great collaborator and communicator isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
And of course, you've got to have the right tools for the job. We're talking about things like Google Analytics to understand what's actually performing, research tools like SEMrush to find out what your audience is looking for, and project management software like Asana or Slack to keep the whole complex machine running smoothly.
Okay, here's the really actionable part. If you're thinking, I want this job, then listen up. Here is how you can prepare to absolutely crush that interview.
I can almost guarantee you will get asked this question. They want to see your track record, of course, but what they really want to understand is your thought process. And just saying, oh, we got a ton of likes, is not going to cut it.
So here's your secret weapon. Use the STAR framework. Start with the situation. Explain the task or objective, detail the specific action you took, and, this is the most important part, share the result with cold, hard numbers. Did sales jump 15%? Did engagement spike by 25%? Those concrete metrics are what really prove your value. And hey, remember, an interview is a two-way street. When you ask a question like this, it shows you're not just about flashy ideas. It shows you're thinking about performance and how you can deliver real, measurable results for them. It's a total power move.
Now let's get into a critical insight. The job of a creative strategist has gotten so massive, so demanding, that in some places, even the best people are being set up to fail. And this isn't about bad strategists, it's about a broken system.
Dara from the Creative Strategy Summit put it perfectly. The expectation is simple. Make ads that convert. But the reality of getting that done today is a whirlwind of complexity. You're expected to be a data scientist, a trend forecaster, a project manager, and a creative visionary all rolled into one. The model of a single genius is burning people out because it's just not sustainable.
So what's a better way? Well, it looks less like a solo hero and more like a specialized team. First, you need a strategy lead. This is the person who sets the creative standard. They're the guardian of taste and quality, the one who decides what a good ad even means for this brand.
Next, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, you need a dedicated project manager. This person is the master of that complexity we talked about. They manage the workflows, the deadlines, and the hundreds of moving parts, freeing up the strategists to strategize.
And last but not least, to stay fast and authentic, you need an in-house creator. This is the person who lives and breathes the brand's persona. They're the ones who can create that relevant, in-the-moment content that feels native and real, because for them, it is.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As the demand for high-performing creative just keeps getting bigger, maybe we should stop looking for a single, mythical creative hero to solve all our problems. Maybe the real future of creativity isn't a person and all, but a team,